Say less.
You don't really want the truth.
Real talk.
Real talk. They don't say it, I do.
Why did you stay with him 5 years? I mean, he wasn't even close to acting right. He wasn't even trying to do it on the down low. He was bringing his side pieces to the crib.
I didn't know that. I did not know that those were his side pieces. I legit.
But once you found out, you broke his car window and then stayed.
Because that's all I know. I don't know nobody else.
How old are you?
28.
We're gonna talk about that.
I've been with him for 5 years, and I love him, and I don't want to start over.
I can have a disease for 5 years, but I still want to get rid of it. I'm used to the disease. I know what it's like. I know the pain that it brings me, but I still want to get cured. You need to get cured of this particular disease.
Nobody wants to say this out loud, but I'm going to ask y'all a question. How much more of yourself are you willing to abandon before you finally admit what you already feel deep down? A lot of y'all are not fighting for love. You're fighting against reality, and reality keeps winning. People love saying relationships take work. They do, but let's stop using that line to normalize dysfunction. A healthy relationship takes effort. A toxic relationship takes survival, and those are not the same thing. Because some of y'all wake up every day emotionally exhausted, overthinking, walking on eggshells, trying to predict moods, trying not to trigger another argument. That's not partnership, that's emotional labor. And the crazy part? You've been carrying it so long, you started calling it normal. Let me tell you what really keeps people stuck. Potential, not reality. Potential. You didn't fall in love with who they consistently are. You fell in love with glimpses, with moments, with chemistry, with who they were when everything felt easy. And now you're emotionally attached to a version of somebody that barely exists anymore. You keep replaying old memories, old conversations, old effort, trying to prove to yourself the relationship is still alive. But memories are not maintenance, and potential is not commitment. You know what people do when they don't want to accept reality? They edit it. They turn red flags into misunderstandings. They turn patterns into exceptions. They turn disrespect into stress. Because accepting the truth would force a decision. And some of y'all don't want the truth. You want comfort. So you keep saying things like, that's not who they really are. Yes, it is. The real version of people shows up under pressure, not during the honeymoon phase, not during apologies, during consistency. And if the same behavior keeps repeating, that is the answer. Let's really tell the truth now. A lot of y'all are not staying because you're in love. You're staying because starting over terrifies you. You built routines together, history together, comfort together. And now, the relationship is dead, but the attachment isn't. So instead of grieving it, you keep dragging it forward, hoping effort can revive something emotionally disconnected. But effort cannot force alignment, and loyalty cannot fix incompatibility. Some relationships don't fail because people stopped caring. They fail because the connection stopped being healthy. And some of y'all know that already. You just don't want to restart your life. And this is the part people cry about in private. You lost yourself. Not overnight, gradually. You stopped expressing needs. You stopped bringing things up. You started shrinking emotionally just to keep the relationship calm. You became easier to deal with, smaller, quieter, and eventually, you stopped recognizing yourself. Because survival mode changes people. You stopped asking, am I happy? And started asking, how do I keep this from falling apart? That shift right there, That's where people disappear inside relationships. Here's one thing I wish more people understood. Confusion is not chemistry. Anxiety is not passion. Inconsistency is not depth. And healthy love does not constantly leave you emotionally unstable. If somebody truly wants to build with you, their behavior will eventually bring clarity, not constant confusion. So if you constantly feel uncertain, unseen, emotionally anxious, that feeling is information. You just keep trying to negotiate with it. This is where people lose themselves completely. They start performing, over-giving, over-proving, over-sacrificing, trying to earn consistency from somebody who already showed them inconsistency. And the sad part? The more desperate you become, the less respected you feel. Because love that has to be constantly forced is already unstable. If somebody wants to leave, let them. Not because it doesn't hurt, but because begging somebody to stay with you will destroy your self-respect faster than heartbreak ever will. And if somebody only stays after you convince them to, that's not love. That's emotional pressure. So let me ask you again, how much more of yourself are you willing to lose trying to save something that emotionally ended a long time ago? Because every extra month, every extra year you spend forcing what no longer fits costs you something. Peace, identity, confidence, time. And eventually, you wake up exhausted trying to carry a relationship that stopped carrying you back. And somewhere out there is something healthier, something mutual, something emotionally safe. But you will never have room for it while you keep clinging to something that keeps breaking you. So let it go. Not because it never mattered, but because you matter too. Most people won't say it like this. I will. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more.
You can't make people do right by you, but you can decide how often you let them do you wrong.